Hey, what's up? Hello. If you are new here, my name is Kayla and you are watching Kayla's Bookish Vibes. And in today's video, we are going to be tier ranking all of the books that I read last year in 2023. Now, I know we're in March, we're well into the new year, but I didn't start my YouTube channel until February. So, I'm doing a video that I really wanted to do here on my channel, and it's just going to be a little bit late. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But we're going to be tier ranking all of the books that I read in 2023. So I'm going to be letting you know how I feel about those books. This will also help you all get a better idea of my taste in books, the books that I liked, the genres that I enjoy, all of that jazz. So without further ado, because I'm pretty sure this video is going to be quite long, let's go ahead and get started. We'll start by giving you the rankings that I have. So I have 6. The first one is life-changing. Obviously self-explanatory. These are the books that I feel changed my reading life. Okay, so these are books that once I read them, I'm like, I'll never read the same. Maybe it helped me discover something about a new genre that I enjoy, or a new author, or it just changed my life in other ways. But it's a book that I absolutely love. This is like above a 5-star. Next, we have top-notch reads. Now, these are 5-star reads, maybe even 4.5-star reads. They didn't necessarily change my life, but these are amazing books, okay? 5. Then we have enjoyed, will recommend. So this is like 4, 4.75, maybe even some 5 stars. These are books that I really enjoyed. I don't think they were life-changing for me. They weren't necessarily, like, in my opinion, top-notch books, but they were definitely ones that I really enjoyed and will recommend. So these can also be like in the 3.75. I'll say 3.75 to 4.75 will probably be enjoyed and will recommend. Don't love, don't hate. Now this is going to be like where the 3s lie. This is going to be like the mid-level books. I enjoyed my time with them. I didn't love them. I didn't dislike the book. I didn't hate them. I may even possibly recommend these books to people that I believe would love them, right? But for me, these were just mid books. Okay, then we have Our Cranial Flesh. Now, these are going to be books that I honestly just don't remember reading. I don't remember the characters' names. I don't remember the plot. I don't remember anything about this book, honestly, but I read it in 2023. And I have a feeling that a lot of thrillers are going to be in this slot, but that's what Our Cranial Flesh is. And then last but not least, we have I Want My Time Back. These are books that I regret reading. Probably books that I should have DNF'd, but I pushed through and continued to read them, and I regret doing so. All of those will go into the last group, which is I Want My Time Back. So without further ado, because I've already started to screen record, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so this is in no particular order, but I will say I remember the first book I read in 2023 was It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. And I am going to put that book, if it will drag, I am going to put that book in life-changing. Now I know that's going to be like so controversial. Okay, people are probably clutching their pearls, but that was the very first book I read and it got me back into reading. It was very easy to read. I enjoyed the story and it really got me back into reading. So for me, it was life-changing because without that book, I wouldn't have rediscovered my passion for reading, right? After I read It Ends With Us, I read Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. And I don't know if my computer is lagging or what. She is quite old. But I read Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, and that definitely life-changing, okay? Because that said, look, baby, I know you enjoyed It Ends With Us, but this is where you really need to be. And without Before I Let Go, I would have ended up on the wrong side of TikTok for far too long. I do know me, and I do know that I would have eventually found myself where I needed to be on BookTok. But Before I Let Go just expedited that process, okay? It made sure I didn't spend too much time where I had no business on BookTok. So Before I Let Go, honestly, redeems It Ends With Us. Next, we have Yellow Life. I'm going to put Yellow Life in enjoyed and will recommend. This book was so heavy for me, but I liked the book and I will definitely recommend that book. I do recommend that book. My Sister, the Serial Killer, I would also say enjoyed and will recommend. That is such a short book, but such like a great popcorn thriller in my opinion, like perfect to read for like Halloween time or something. Really good, fast read. 7 Days in June. by Tia Williams. We're going to put that in didn't love and didn't hate it. I was not enthralled with this book like so many others, but I didn't hate this book either. Okay, so don't at me. Then we have Revive Me. Honestly, Cranial Flush, because all I remember about this book was that there was a lot of smut, like a lot of it. Honey and Spice, didn't love, didn't hate. So we'll put that there. Make a Scene and What a Match, both by Mimi Grace. Let's just call a spade, okay? Top notch reads. If you have heard me talk about any romances whatsoever, then you know Mimi Grace is that girl, okay? Period. Then we have Moth to a Flame, Ashley Antoinette. I don't know where to put this. I didn't love, didn't hate is, I feel like it's not, I feel like I liked the book more, but I would not recommend this book to anyone. So I'm going to put didn't love, didn't hate. I did really enjoy this book. I just would never recommend it to a single soul. And that goes for all of the ethic books. I do not recommend them. Not that I think people shouldn't read them. I just personally would not recommend or say to someone you should check out this book, because I believe they are extremely toxic. Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. I enjoyed that book and would definitely recommend. I read a lot of YA and middle grade books because honestly, a secret dream of mine is to become a librarian, and so I'm always looking for books to like recommend to the kids in my life, which I have a lot of nieces and nephews. And Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute is actually one that I did recommend to some of my nieces. The Davenports, this is a top-notch read. I wouldn't say it was life-changing, but baby, it was 5 stars, and I can't wait for the sequel to that one. And then Lone Woman by Victor Lavelle, also a top-notch. It was one of my favorite reads of 2023. I just wouldn't say, actually, yeah, we'll go ahead and put it in life-changing, because this is the first horror novel that I've read, and it was the first time that I said, you know what? I think I can read horror and I can handle it, because I typically thought I was like a really like a big scaredy cat, and I think I am when it comes to like movies or like visual. But if it's a book, if it's like just words on a page, I think I can do horror to an extent. Don't push it. Vanessa Jerry's Got a Man, Cranial Flush. I kind of remember that this is like an older couple. I think they're like in their 40s, 50s possibly. And that's all I remember. And Every Morning After, The Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. I enjoyed this book and will definitely recommend. I think I cried on that book. Revive Me, again, is just Cranial Flush. I'm not saying that it was bad. I just believe there was a lot of smut and I don't really remember like too much anything about it, honestly. Real, enjoyed, will recommend. For sure. I love that book. The House of Eve, if you know, you know. I wouldn't say this book changed my life, although this was literally my favorite book of 2023. It is a top-notch read. Like, she is that girl. Someone Had to Do It. This was a thriller. I would say enjoyed, will recommend. I thought it was a really good thriller, like one that I've never read before. I thought it was fun. Typically popcorn thrillers are like, you know, really good and fast, but I thought this one was like a fun thriller. Long Shot by Kennedy Wright. I love Kennedy Wright, okay? Hear me out. I love her. But this book, part of me wants to put it in I Want My Time Back, but I don't regret reading this book. I didn't enjoy this book. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it either. I'm going to put didn't love, didn't hate. I just was not a fan of that book. I do want to continue the series because I do really think that I'll love the other 2 books. I just wasn't the fan of that one. The Neighbor Favor, top notch. Hello. Top notch. Top notch. Literally one of my faves, if not like my favorite romance. Long Shot, I feel like I need to revisit that. I feel like we spent too much time in the negative and not enough time in love. That's why I didn't like Long Shot. Here we go. Dear Amelia by Asia Monique, Cranial Flush. I don't remember. I think that was a Friends to Lovers, and I just was annoyed that like they were two grown adults who just couldn't be like, I like you, you like me, let's just get together, you know? They were friends to lovers, and they were like childhood friends to lovers, so they had been crushing on each other for a very long time, and it was just like, get together already. Now That I Found You, enjoyed, will recommend. This was a YA romance by Christina Forrest. In my eyes, Christina Forrest can do no wrong. The Wife Stalker is a thriller, which honestly I can't even remember what it was about. Cranial Flush, it's honestly coming back to me just like little bits and pieces here and there, but Cranial Flush, it wasn't like a thriller to write home about. The Sweetest Remedy, Cranial Flush. It was okay. It's One of Us. I remember this being one of the first thrillers that I read that year, and I enjoyed it and would recommend it. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. What was it about though? I know it was about a woman. Yes, I'm remembering. It's coming back to me. It was about a woman and a man, and it turns out that the man had like 50 kids across the state because he was a sperm donor, and his wife really wanted kids, but she couldn't have children, and it was a whole thing. I did really enjoy that one, and I would recommend it. Read the synopsis so that you can get a better gist and a better idea of the book, but it was a really good book, and I need to pick up more by J.T. Ellison because I really liked that book. Luca, enjoyed, will recommend. Now this is a series. We'll go ahead and do the whole series because Luca I enjoyed and would recommend. Lyric, I want my time back. I did not like Lyric's story at all. Lake, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it like I did Lyrics. I did not like Lyric's story. Luca I enjoyed, and Lake, it was just okay. It was like meh, it was okay. But I do recommend you read Luca, and once you read Luca, honestly you're going to want to read the rest of the series. Don't regret my time reading the series as a whole, but I did not like Lyric's story. I don't know, it just wasn't it. The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry, I didn't love it, didn't hate it. I feel like so many people loves that book, and it was just okay. A River of Royal Blood. Now this is a series. This is it's a, what do you call it when it's just two? A duet, possibly. The second book I didn't love and didn't hate, but Queen of Gilded Horns. No, I'm lying. A River of Royal Blood is the one that I really liked. I really liked that one. That was the first book in the duology. But the second book, Queen of Gilded Horns, I didn't love, didn't hate. I felt like we just needed more. Honestly, I felt like this should have been a trilogy, and I would have loved it, would have eaten up. But I highly, highly, highly recommend, obviously, because I enjoyed it and would recommend it, that you read A River of Royal Blood. That was an amazing fantasy. We Knew All Along, Cranial Flesh. Couldn't even tell you what that book is about. The Perfect Ruin by Chandra, I can't read the text, it's so small. Shanora Williams, I didn't love it, didn't hate it. I thought that was okay. That one was okay. Restore Me, Cranial Flesh. All of those books, honestly, I picked up because the TikTok girlies influenced me, and I think I enjoyed my time like while I was reading them, but like after I was done reading them, it was like an instant flush. We Lie Here by Rachel Housel Hall. This is a thriller, and I enjoyed it. And I would recommend. This is also a thriller. I think I was trying really hard to find thrillers written by Black authors, and I came up on that one. And it was like a domestic thriller, and I really enjoyed it because it was the first time I had read a domestic thriller with Black characters. And if you know about domestic thrillers, then you know they're kind of just like a slice of life. However, a slice of life looks different for everyone. And this slice of life reminded me more of my own personal life, right? Like the foods that they were cooking, the smells that they were smelling, the arguments that they were having. These were all things that could typically happen in a Black household, which, you know, I really enjoyed that. So enjoyed and would recommend. Scarred, I enjoyed and would recommend. I actually want to pick up more books from that series because I really liked that one. That is like a fantasy retelling of The Lion King, but it's like a dark romance. Blood Debts is a fantasy, and I enjoyed it and would recommend it. I thought that book was absolutely hilarious. There was some stuff that happened in there that really had me laughing out loud. I think I've said this before, probably on my TikTok, but I really want to see Blood Debts like adapted into a animated series, but like in the style of Boondocks. I think it would just be so funny. The Night Swim by Megan Golden. I really did like that book. I read it on audio and I enjoyed it. Would recommend specifically on audio. I feel like it could probably be not as good on like just physically reading it, but if you read it on audio, you'll really enjoy it. Blood Trials. This was what I was trying to see if I could get into my fantasy bag, and I enjoyed it. Would recommend. I read it on audio because it's thick, but I enjoyed my time with it. Lisa Jewell, The Night Swim. I didn't love, didn't hate. I read quite a few from Lisa Jewell, just trying to figure out if I liked her as an author. Some of her books I enjoyed, and like some of them were just okay. That one was just okay. Sally Hepworth, The Soulmate, I loved. This was my first Sally Hepworth book, and to me it was a top-notch read. This was a really good thriller. Highly recommend. Just the Nicest Couple. Didn't love, didn't hate. Again, it's a thriller. The Last Word, same. That was like a book of the month pick that I got, and it was okay. I think the premise and the synopsis of that book was even better than the actual book. So it was like a book reviewer gave a book a 1-star review, and the author became so upset and obsessed that he literally went after this book reviewer, trying to take her out. Again, the synopsis, in my opinion, was better than the actual book. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I did like this book. That was my first Riley Sager book. I enjoyed it and would recommend. I thought that was a very atmospheric read. The Maidens. I remember really enjoying the writing style. I know it was a thriller, and that's all I can tell you. Sally Hepworth. Again, my girl. Enjoyed, would recommend. I really enjoy Sally Hepworth's novels. They are very relatable for me. The Mother-in-Law, again. Actually, I don't know why this is in here because I read that this year. I read that in 2024. But since she's already here, we're gonna give her enjoyed, would recommend. But just know I read The Mother-in-Law this year. I think I read it last month. So my bad. Don't You Dare, Cranial Flesh. I don't even remember what that book is about. Lisa Jewell, None of This Is True. I really, it's not life-changing, but I really liked that book. Top-notch read. Highly recommend that you listen to that on audio. There's some mixed media in there that's just better when you have it on audio. Take a Chance. Didn't love, didn't hate. Kind of don't even remember what that's about. I believe that's a novella. So it was okay. Razor Blade Tears by S.A. Cosby. Oh, her. This was a top-notch read for me. No disrespect for S.A. Cosby will be tolerated here on this page. Everyone Here Is Lying. Didn't love, didn't hate. I really enjoyed that book in 2023. But I read a book this year that kind of put that book to shame, in my opinion. So it kind of knocked down a little bit. The Drowning Kind. Cranial Flesh. I don't remember. I think I read that with a book club and it was just okay. Dark Corners, I Want My Time Back. I didn't DNF, but it wasn't nearly as good as the first book in that series. And I'm so mad about it because they really dropped the ball. There was like a romance aspect of it that I was just like, why is this here? We don't need it. The Husbands I really liked. We'll put enjoyed and will recommend. That was good. I remember talking to my husband about that book. If I'm talking to my husband about a book, it's probably because I either really dislike it or I really like it. The Other Mothers was really good. Well, I wouldn't say really good, but it was just good. Enjoyed and would recommend. The Lion Club, I Want My Time Back. It was not that great. Same for The Prada Plan. Give Me My Time Back. Prada Plan 2. Give Me My Time Back. These are books that I read because I was reading the Ethics series and I realized that there were things that I was missing from the Ethics series because I hadn't read the Prada Plan series. So I tried to go back and read the Prada Plan series and I just I haven't continued with either series, honestly. Stone Cold Fox, Cranial Flesh. I think I really enjoyed it while I was reading it, but I could not tell you what it was about. Mickey Chambers, Shakes It Up. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. It is a cute cover though, and I would low-key buy that book just to have the cover on my shelf, but I'm gonna try not to do that. Yellowface, didn't love it, didn't hate it. Linden Hills, life-changing for me. I loved it. Highly recommend that book, like around Christmas time. If you're looking for like a Christmas book but you don't want like a Christmas romance, or you don't want like a cheesy Christmas book at all, get Linden Hills. I loved that book by Gloria Naylor. It put me on to Gloria Naylor, which is why I'm saying it changed my life. A Welcome Reunion, which was a prequel to, or a sequel to, where is that book? Where is it? The Perfect Child. Didn't love, didn't hate. So we'll put that in the same, because that's where it should go. The Perfect Child. This is like the sequel to The Perfect Child. They're both novellas though. 8 Perfect Murders. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. It was okay. I read this on a road trip. This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. This was a horror novel, and I enjoyed it and would recommend it. Again, this was after reading Lone Woman by Victor LaValle that I realized I could possibly stomach some horror novels, and that is a horror novel. Is The River of Royal Blood on here twice? Yes, it is. So we'll just leave that down there. My old computer is breathing real hard, breathing real heavy, so bear with this. Out of Body. Loved this book. If you've been watching my channel, then you know this is a top-notch read for me. It is a YA mystery with sci-fi elements. I really love it and highly recommend. Take a Hike by Mimi Grace. Come on, Bessie, you can do it. Where did I just put Take a Hike? Let's not be disrespectful. Take a Hike by Mimi Grace definitely needs to go to the top. If she could make it there. Hello. Top-notch read. Okay. Anything by Mimi Grace in my book is a top-notch. Bright Young Woman. I enjoyed this book. I did. I enjoyed it and will highly recommend it. I checked this one out from my library, so I don't have a physical copy of that book, but I really enjoyed it. S.A. Cosby, All the Sinners Bleed. Top-notch read. I really thoroughly enjoyed that book so much. All of S.A. Cosby books, I highly recommend getting them on audio, because the narrator's voice is just honestly sexy. The Chalk Man was good. I read this with a book club. Enjoyed, would recommend. It was very atmospheric, and I probably will do a reread for that around Halloween, because I just really love the atmosphere of it. The Whispers by Ashley Aldrain. I need to read more about Ashley Aldrain. I really like her writing style, so I enjoyed and would recommend. I enjoyed what that book had to say about motherhood. Ooh, The Thing About Home. I don't talk about this book nearly as much as I should, but that is a top-notch read for me. This book had me wanting to pack up my things, move to South Carolina and start a homestead, okay? Every Last Fear, Cranial Flesh, because I can't even tell you what this book is about, but I feel like I liked it, but I just don't remember what it was about. Throne of Glass, didn't love, didn't hate. I just found it odd that an assassin was supposed to be like the baddest girl around, but she didn't kill anyone. So I'm like, how is she an assassin if she doesn't kill? But I won't get into that. The Night It Ended, Cranial Flesh. The Kiss Countdown. This book actually comes out this year, but I read it as an ARC last year, and I would recommend this book for sure. I would recommend this book. I loved Victor. Frenemy Fix Up, I Want My Time Back. This is also a book that comes out in 2024, like this year. I hated that book because I did not like the male main character. Fourth Wing. Ooh, the girls are gonna be mad, but life-changing. This was my very first fantasy that made me say, yeah, you like fantasy. You like dragons. Who would have thought? I would have never thought. But after I read Fourth Wing, I knew. It was life-changing for me. Sally Hepworth, The Younger Wife. Top Notch. Sally's my girl. Two more, because remember, this one is a duplicate. A River of Royal Blood is a duplicate. All We Were Promised. This is a historical fiction that comes out this year as well, and didn't love it, didn't hate it. I think I gave that book a 3-star. Was not my fave. Last but not least, this is a novella by Victor Lavelle, We Travel the Spaceways. I loved that book. I loved it. It was so odd. Top-notch read. It was so odd, but really enjoyable, and I was so shocked that I enjoyed it. So it also helps me realize that maybe, possibly, sci-fi could be something that I'm interested in if I would just open myself up to it. So there's that. And then I think that's the last book. Yeah, because that one was a duplicate. So here's what we have. I Want My Time Back. I knew I wouldn't have too many books in this section. So we have six books in that section. Cranial Flush. These are books, again, that I just honestly didn't remember. I can't tell you what they're about. Or maybe I could tell you what they're about, but I'm just like, it's escaping me, okay? Didn't Love, Didn't Hate. Okay. These are books that were just meh. These were like the 3 stars. And looking at this, I'm agreeing with this. I'm correct there. Enjoyed, will recommend is my biggest section, so that's good. I'm pretty positive about that section. Top-notch reads. I'm glad that I got some of those. You know, it's not too skimpy. My goal is for 2024 is to have more books in the top-notch read section and the life-changing section. So far, yeah, and I'm pretty solid on my life-changing section. Pretty solid. I will say so far this year, I've probably only had one book that has changed my life. But we're still very early on in the year, so we got time. Alright guys, that was me tier ranking all of the books that I've read in 2023. Hopefully you enjoyed watching that, and hopefully that gives you a better idea of my taste and like the types of books that I enjoy reading versus the types of books that didn't necessarily grab my attention. Now I want to say, reading is subjective. You may not agree with my thoughts and opinions on these books, and that is okay. I will not take it personal. Just as you shouldn't take it personal if I hated a book that you loved, okay? We can still be friends, I promise. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of today's video. I really, really appreciate it. If you did, please leave this emoji letting me know that you watched the entire video, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.